Okay, today we're going to begin working with conditional probability. We have two standards we're going to address. Explain and recognize the concepts of conditional probability and the independence in everyday language and everyday situations. And find the conditional probability of A given B as a fraction of B's outcomes that also belong to A. Interpret the answers in terms of models. Our essential question, how do we calculate conditional probability? So in order to do that, we need to know what conditional probability is. The probability that event B occurs given that event A has already occurred is called conditional probability of B given A. And here's your notation here. P stands for probability. Set B, this bar here means given element A. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at a situation and we're going to answer different questions about the situation and using what we're given and what we want to find. And the situation is 100 people who frequently get migraine headaches were chosen to participate in a study of a new anti-headache medicine. Some of the participants were given the medicine, others were not. After 1 week, the participants were asked if they got a headache during the week, and the two-way table summarizes the results. This table's a nice table because notice it has a total column and it has a total row. And this right here is your total of everybody who took the medicine. So the total of people that were tested were 100. If you're given a table and it does not give you your totals, I would always find my totals before I start trying to work with it. Okay, the first situation says, using the same table, to the nearest percent, what is the probability that a participant who took the medicine did not get a headache? Now notice this is not in conditional statement form because it does not have the word given. So it helps to define your events. So since I want to know who took the medicine and who did not get a headache, I look at my top row. I'm going to call that event A, and my vertical row or column is going to be event B. So if I want to know who took the medicine, that would be event A. And who did not get a headache, that would be event B. And what I want to do is label that and put the title underneath each event. So I say event A is who took the medicine. It helps me to label the chart. And event B is no headache. I want to write that in conditional statement form using the word given. So if I read my question again, to the nearest percent, what is the probability that a participant who took the medicine did not get a headache? So I want to know the probability that they did not get a headache. So I'm going to write that in conditional statement form. So I would say, what is the probability of not getting a headache given that he took the medicine? So remember, no headache is event B, and took the medicine is event A. So if I want to write that in set notation, I'm going to say P for probability, parentheses B, because set B is no headache, given set A, and A is that he took the medicine. In order to find that, I've got to start with what I'm given. I am given set A. So I'm going to look at the column labeled took medicine. That is event A. And my total is 60. So I know my denominator is going to be 60 because my total is always my denominator. So I look in that column and I find event B, which event B was no headache. So I see in this column that 48 people did not have a headache. So that would be my numerator. If I make it to the nearest percent, I needed to divide to get my decimal, and then change that to percent by moving it 2 places. Let's look at a different situation here. This question states, to the nearest percent, what is the probability that a participant who did not take the medicine had a headache? So I want to know the probability that they had a headache. So I look at my top row to find event A. And event A is going to be who did not take the medicine. So that would be event A. And I look at my first column to see who event B, and that is had a headache, so that would be event B. And again, it helps to label. So I'm going to say event A is no medicine, and event B is that he had a headache. So I want to write this in conditional statement form using the word given. I want to find the probability that he had a headache. So I'm going to say, what is the probability of a headache? Because that is event, that would be event B, because there's headache. Given that he had no medicine. That's on the top row, so that's A. I want to write that in set notation. So since I'm going to write it in set notation, I'm going to say, what is the probability, P for probability, that he had a headache? That's event B, because it's on the vertical column. Given, that's your slash,